What's good, everybody? It's Hamza coming back to you guys with a brand new video. Now, you guys can see from the title, it's my Maliss first place 3v3 list. So over this last weekend, my locals hosted a 3v3, a small event where we could each take a box away home if we won. So we ended up going undefeated and we won. So this is my Maliss list. My other teammates played Ryzio, so they played pure Ryzio. If you guys want to see like their joint list, let me know. As well, shout out to my brother and shout out to Hussein as well, members of Ather Gaming. But again, this is my Maliss list. I chose Maliss over other decks because personally I like Maliss, I like Unga Bunga combo, and I do like how this deck has a hidden aspect of playing low to the ground, where a lot of people say that. And I like the new way that Maliss plays. I didn't really like the terahertz full combo kind of way that deck played, but that's it for kind of my intro of the list. If you guys want to see more or just ask me any questions, let me know, comment down below, hit me up in Discord, Twitter, things of that nature. But again, starting off with the list, we're not going to talk too much about this, of course, because we're playing 3 Dormouse and we are playing 3 White Rabbits, so the 1-card combos of the deck. These cards are essential. The hidden effect of Dormouse almost always comes up, especially against Fiendsmith Ryzio as well as Pure Ryzio, because it says if this card points to a monster, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Right here, Mouse Link monsters, this card points to, or that point to this card, cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's very important because there is a board state, kind of where you end with Cryptor in the extra monster zone. So you have Cryptor in the extra monster zone, then you have a Ransom and a Binder, all pointing to the Dormouse. So when they go to nuke, only Dormouse goes away, so you can still protect your main disruption, which is going to be like a Cryptor on that specific board. Again, it just depends kind of what you're looking for, but like I said, for Dormouse is really good, especially because the 600 the 600 attack boost is also really good as well, because it helps you OTK in very awkward scenarios. Then we also have the White Rabbit, like I said, for 1-card combo. One thing to note is, like, if you open a White Rabbit by itself, you are always playing into Nibiru, because you always need an extra body on board to do it, meaning that instead of White Binder being your 5th summon, White Binder will be like your 6th summon, so you get nibbed harder before the White Binder. So just one thing to note, but again, she's still like very important in the combo, especially because she is a 1-card combo with Dormouse. Then moving on, guys, we are playing the double Chessy Cat. Now, I know some people play 1, some people play 3, some people play 2. Me personally, I like to play 2. So what I did is I kind of used like the whole Sword Soul logic with it, where it's like 3 Ecclesia, 3 Moyi is good enough, and then 2 Taya is kind of like all I want to see. I don't want my hands to be too clogged. If you open Chessy Cat, you're okay with opening 1/1/1, which is fine, because Chessy Cat then becomes the normal summon. But because she's not really the best if you draw her by herself, you can't really play, especially because my Bishios aren't as high as they tend to be in like the bigger YCSs, like 10 Bishios. You guys can see I'm not really on that much, so I think 2 Chessy Cat is good. I think if you play Allure of Darkness, you can play 3 Chessy Cat, because then it's not that bad, or you can even play 1 because like you draw into it. But personally, I think 2 Chessy Cat was perfect for me. I always sided 1 out as well, so I think it's perfectly fine. So that's it for the Maliss names. We're only playing 8. I think 8 is a good ratio. I think 7 is even better. 9, I think you go heavier on the Bestial count, but because this was a locals and I knew not a lot of people were on Fiendsmith Ryzio, and I didn't really fear Fiendsmith Ryzio too much, I wanted to lower the Bestial count. Then moving on, guys, we play the 1 Magma, of course, then the 3 Druisworm, and the 2 Baldrake. I think personally 6 is okay, especially at kind of like on a regional or a local level. I think if you want to bump it up to 10 Bishios, you absolutely can, but again, you still do lose to Lancia, because you have more awkward hands, where like if you open a Chessy plus a Bestial and they Lancia you on like the Chessy effect, it gets really, really awkward, similar to White Rabbit and the Dormouse as well, especially because like if I'm playing against like Mermail, for example, if I'm playing against Crystron, for example, even if I'm playing against pure Ryzio, like these cards aren't that good, especially game 1, or like game 3 if I'm going second and things of that nature. So I just wanted to kind of keep it minimal to a point where like I could see one of these with combination of any of these, and then I could play, as opposed to seeing double Bestial, right? I just wanted to see 1 Bestial in my opening hand. Then of course you play triple Ash Blossom. I mean, I don't even know why you need to talk about this card. Stops the chummies, stops anything, really good. And then MVP of the weekend, of course, is going to be D-Shifter. Like, I don't know why people aren't playing this. I do see the argument, of course, because like if you play 48 million Bestials, you don't need to play D-Shifter, and you can side it because like Shifter plus Bestials make it very awkward. But that's why I'm on Shifter personally. I think that's really, really good. I think it's insane. I think it's a nutty card. This card was carrying me all, like, even in testing, this card just absolutely cracked, especially because there are very, very nasty combos that you guys can do under Shifter that not a lot of people know, especially under Fua, like Shifter. If you get Fua and you Shifter him back, and then you end on like a very, very specific board, it's crazy. Like, I was watching Maliss players play at my locals, and I don't think they know a lot of the specific combos, so that's why I feel like it kind of gave me the upper hand. Then of course playing triple Nibiru. I don't own Fualos, and personally I don't know if I would have mained it. I probably would have sided if anything, just because like I wanted to steal the game 1s with Nib, because even if they do a half board, this deck has like a weird time going through like a detonator if you have like a very awkward hand of like a bunch of normal summons and extenders, because like if you play against a better Ryzio player, they know not to pop like all willy-nilly. So like I'd rather use my hand traps to force them into awkward state to lose to Nibiru, and then I can go ahead and out it. Plus, I like the additional body as well. Then, of course, we play the triple field spell plus the terraforming. I decided to put in terraforming over the chest cat. I don't think a lot of people are on main deck Droll, so I wasn't really worried about it too much. And I also think that Allure of Darkness makes your hands very awkward, whereas you're already winning if you have a name in hand, especially if it's these guys. But I do know that people max out on Allure, or like they play 2 Allure for consistency issues. Personally, I don't think Allure is bad per se. I just think it's okay, right? So, and I wanted to kind of try to keep it at 41 or 40 as much as possible with playing these specific ratios. Then again, Malice plus Terraforming, like these cards are nuts, especially Terraforming if you side thrust. Terraforming gets really good. Speaking of thrust targets, one gold target god card again, the one triple tactics talents as well. These cards are just god cards, especially like going second and game 2 and 3. These cards are absolutely cracked with thrust, so really good. And then another MVP all weekend is Metaltronus. Now this is the main deck card of choice. I think this is going to be like kind of in every deck moving forward as well. Like this card is just so good, especially as a board breaker, especially if you go first and the Chaos Hunter, you can Metaltronus, target Chaos Hunter, summon a Druid Swarm, link your 2 monsters away into like a Lizard Dose or Lizard Dose, and then Druid Swarm will send another monster away, and then you just absolutely just crack their board. It's absolutely nuts. Metaltronus also is very good. You guys see in my extra deck I play the Detonator, so Metaltronus is also really good there, especially in the mirror match, just getting rid of the monster. Also just targeting a Bestial, getting an extender. Metaltronus, wow, I'm gonna play this card 10 times out of 10. Moving on, we play the triple Dominus Impulse. I mean, why would you not play this card? This card is insane. Warning literally from the hand. It's only bad against pure Ryzeal, but you guys will see I have other cards in my side deck to side in against pure Ryzeal, so that's the only like takeaway I would say. Like against pure Ryzeal, it's very mid. Against everything else, really good. I played the triple Imperm. Now I never conflicted with Imperm, like having the whole like, oh, Bestials plus Nib, you're gonna have too many bodies, because you just like Imperm first if you open any of these. And like for the most part, if you open Nib Imperm, obviously like that works a little different. Similar with like Impulse, you want to Impulse first and then Nib, Nib first then Impulse, because you can't obviously Impulse after the fact. So just one thing to note is, and the reason why I like is like you can Nib the Mitsurugi Ryzeal board, then when they use Murakamo to Reborn, you just Impulse the Murakamo, and now you're chilling, right? Because you've used it perfectly fine, like Nib first and then Impulse. Nib and Druid Swarm also works very well because you Nib and then you Druid Swarm send the token, so it also works very powerfully. And then I also like how Imperm and Dominus Impulse work very well together, where you can like Imperm and then you can Impulse them, then destroy, so it gets a lot better. So like if you open like these two against Ryzeal, you like Imperm the first, then when they like use the extender to kind of play through it, you just Impulse and nuke and negate, and it's very powerful, especially going second as well. Then we of course we play the triple trap. So that's for the main deck, guys. You can see it's 41 deck, not much to talk about. Like main takeaways, like Chesty Cat is good, Shifter is absolutely cracked and nutty. Honestly, I low-key did think about playing more MTPs, because like this card going first is just nasty. Like Dormouse MTP is the craziest combo into like 3 hand traps. Like this is how you play through so many hand traps with these 2 cards. So but I mean, yeah, and I mean TP is also good, but MTP just better, because like you go normal Dormouse, they go like Chain Effect Failure, Chain MTP, you banish Dormouse, you add the White Rabbit, and then Dormouse banishes Chessie, you summon Chessie, then Chessie will eat a hand trap, then you normal Rabbit, Rabbit eats another hand trap, and then you can go ahead and keep on playing, and you can still banish the Rabbit to extend. So oh my god, it's nasty. But a lot of, that's why I like Malice. I think it gives you a lot of room to kind of sauce on your opponent, and I just love saucing my opponent. Then side deck, of course, we're playing triple Artifact Lancia. You got to, it works very well against Malice. It's also very good against Crystron. It's also really good against Mermill, because Mermill cannot minstrel you, and they kind of have like this weird way of kind of hand ripping, because like they specific people like spreadsheet gamers, as like the new like little meme is, like spreadsheet gamers don't know how to hand rip through Lancia, so it's pretty good. Then of course we play the triple drone Lockbird as well. Personally, I would low-key want to cut this card, especially because it conflicts with Impulse, Light Earth, and Wind Monsters. So, like, you can't Impulse and then Droll. You want to Droll first, which is, like, the good thing about Impulse is, like, for the most part, you want to hit these cards first before you Impulse. That's another reason why I cut Veiler from the main deck, as well, or even the side deck. But, personally, I think that this card can be cut for, like, maybe more breakers, maybe going second as well, because I only sat it in once, and I never saw it. And then we have the one Call by the Grave, the one Harpy's Feather Duster as well, followed by the triple Tactics Thrust, the 3 triple Tactics Thrust. Again, very good card, as well. You guys can see I'm not really playing a lot of targets, right? I just have this and Duster. So when you go first, the theory is that you side Mischief of the Gnomes, and this card is crazy. So I know that a lot of people are on Dimensional Barrier. So the reason for Dimensional Barrier is you can barrier your opponent, stop them from playing. So you can call XYZ. You can also call Synchro, which it's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, don't get me wrong, right? It's still good, but the reason why I like Mischief of Gnomes is because I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to play specifically against Ryzeal, where like, if I get Lancet and my board is really weak, I can Mischief them, right? And then the benefit is if you Mischief them, it says this turn reduce the levels of all monsters in each player's hand by 1, even after they are summoned / set. So for the whole turn, all monsters levels are lowered by 1. Then you can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn reduce the levels of all monsters in each player's hand by 1 even after. So again, same effect twice. So you get 2 turns of a turn skip in theory. So the reason for that is like if you're against any sort of Raziel variant, Raziel Mitsurugi, even against some synchro variants as well, like Centurion and things of that nature, you can go ahead and use Mischief on your turn to, or sorry, on their turn to go ahead and turn their monsters to like level 3s, and it gets very, very awkward. And then also we have another turn as well. So kind of how like it's really sacky if your opponent like double lances you or multiple hand traps you. We can go ahead and use Mischief to turn their plays off twice, meaning that now we have 2 turns of survivability and we can go ahead and keep playing. And then we also have triple strike. I used to be on Crosshair Designator. The reason why I don't like Crosshair is I think it's like too much, like especially going second. I hate deciding in Crosshair plus Lancia. I think that theory is just so dumb. So the reason why I decided to play Thrust is like, you know what, if I go first, I have 7 cards to go first, generically speaking. And if I don't have 7 cards to go first, I have 6. So 3, 6. I keep in the talents, I keep in the Gold Circ, I start terraforming in any of these, and then I can go ahead and keep playing or keep terraforming even depending. And then you also have Call By as well, so you still have ways of beating Lancia. Especially like Strike is just the craziest card in the world going first. It's like better than anything. Obviously Judgment's like a little better, but the reason why I like Strike is like if I get Lancia, I can go ahead and set a Strike, keep like hand traps in my hand and pass. Now during my opponent's turn, I can strike them, I can use Shifter, I can use these cards to kind of prevent my opponent from OTKing me. Then on the bounce back, they've wasted their Lancia and I can go ahead and OTK them, which is really nice. Like Mischief Node's an MVP, honestly, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are on this card because you like beat the other decks, you only care about Raziel, and Mischief of the Gnomes turns off Raziel. Like it's just so crazy. Like bro, 2 turns of just turn skip, nasty. Then moving on to the extra guys, we are playing the 1 Lingreebo and the 1 Link Decoder. The reason why I'm playing Lingreebo is under Shifter. So in the mirror match, Lingreebo goes absolutely ballistic because you normal Lingreebo and just keep on playing. If you open Shifter plus a name, you can go Shifter, normal Dormouse, Link into Lingreebo. Dormouse comes back, Dormouse effect, go ahead and banish. So you can go ahead and get like a secret, it's like a secret saucy board through like imperms and even in the mirror match under Shifter. So that's why you need to play Lingreebo with Shifter. If you don't play Shifter, you don't need to play Lingreebo. You can play other cards in that instance. Then we played the 1 Link Decoder again. It's very good, and also like you don't want to neg by making a Link Decoder under Shifter. You want to make a Link Decoder later on. Because literally people are even asking this card be banned, which is crazy. But then we also played the 1 Dark, the Dark Charmer. Very good in the mirror match. Very good with Bestials and Nibs as well. Because like if you have double Bestial, you kind of like clear the board to prevent them from playing, go into a Dark, reborn something, crash. Dark, go ahead and get Dormouse, normal Dormouse. Now you have Dormouse plus body on the board. So you can go ahead and keep playing it like that as well. So it's really nasty. Then we have the 1 Lizard, because Lizard is very important for the combos. But Lizard's only important for the combos if you open a Bestial. If you don't open a Bestial, Splash Mage ends up becoming the better combo card. And if you guys don't know the 1 card Splash Mage combo, I really feel bad for you guys. Especially like we don't play Dotscaper anymore. There's no reason to play Dotscaper because you're never getting to your final end board because we always get hand trapped and disrupted. You guys will see. But then we play the 1 IP, very crucial under Fua, Meows, Lancia, things of that nature. This card is crazy. I was making her on my end board all the freaking time, like it was crazy. SP again, a nasty link too. Like this is how you extend through a lot of BS as well. There's also a secret board where you go SP Binder. It's disgusting. Red Ransom, summoned her maybe once, I think. Like I don't know, this card just never gets summoned anymore. I do see why people like play lower field spells, because then she becomes like a Balinx where like you kind of summon her just for the field spell. But now like you want to open a field spell because we don't go through red ransom, so that's why I plays Cryptor MVP. Like this card's crazy. I would indicate so many people under the Cryptor effect just because like they didn't realize it. Especially under 4 summons, you go Cryptor, this plus Dormouse is 61 because, or sorry, not 61, 31 because she gives it. So you go 31, attack, Cryptor, chain the trap card, banish Cryptor, Cryptor come back, go to 5k, attack for game, GG, right? It's so simple. Then we have the 1 White Binder. This card is absolutely crazy. This card for some reason was not eating hand traps. I don't know what the theory is. Like a lot of my opponents were stopping my White Rabbit, which is like definitely incorrect. Then White Binder is absolutely crazy as well. I mean, hand trap in this deck is weird. Bao and Griffin, never summon these 2 cards ever. Like I don't even know if I'm gonna be playing these cards. Like Griffin, bro, you can leave. Griffin's only important for Metatronus if your opponent goes second into your board and they go into Exiton. You can chain Metatronus and summon out the Light Fiend, which is Griffin, which is really good. Like any sort of Light Fiends, like you just eat it with Griffin. It's nasty. Good extender as well. Of course, into like any sort of fiends to the board, like if they have like a Light Fiend, you can go ahead and use it as well. So apart from that, like I never summon Griffin. Like this is what I'm telling you guys, you do not need Dotscaper, because Dotscaper makes your deck into a more turbo combo deck with bricks, and it's like really bad. So that's why you don't play Dotscaper anymore. I had to learn the hard way, trust me. Like Dotscaper sucks, especially with like Impulse. Dotscaper is an earth monster, so again, more cards that conflict with Impulse is just not good. But yeah, so you never summon these cards. Bao is really good. I use the pop effect more than special summon effect, and then Griffin is really good. But you never summon it. Then we also have the 1 Access Code Talker. This is your game shot when you go when you go first, because if you end on like your link 3s and you don't really know how to kill your opponent, you just summon Access Code, banish the ransom or the Cryptor shifter or whatever and just start popping cards. Like Splash Mage is a water, this is a dark, and then you just proceed to just win the game from there, right? And then we also play the one Firewall. This is the #1 best boss monster in Malice. If you are ending on Firewall, you literally win the game. The end board is literally Firewall GWC, GG. You win the game. You have Firewall on the board, you look at your opponent and you say you literally lose the game. Okay, oh nice. Aggregator is gonna negate my Firewall. Oh no, I'm so scared, right? You know what I mean? There's also a really cool play under Shifter where if you resolve Shifter, you can go ahead and get Firewall, and then you can White Binder, and then you have Firewall, White Binder, co-linked, and then Firewall bounces the Shifter, so you can go ahead and Shifter them again. Also, Firewall is really good because we can not play into talents because we just hold our bounce for when our opponent tries to disrupt us, and then there we Firewall bounce our own Bishals to our hand to Bishal out our own monsters to keep playing from there. Against my opponent, round 1, I had a really nasty play where I knew he had talents in his hand. He like cycled my GWC, so I changed GWC to Reborn my White Binder. I didn't use the effect because I'm like, you know what? I need him to Prosperity first, so then he can't talents draw, right? So then he Prosperity, he drew. I knew he had talents in his hand, and then he proceeded to kind of Aggregator target my Firewall Dragon. I used Firewall to bounce my Bishals, so now I'm open to talents, right? But he's like, okay, I can't take a monster because I'm rank 4 locked, so I need to rip. But my only card in my hand is my Bishal, so when he went talents look at hand, I chained my Bishal, I banished my White Rabbit, I summoned out my Bishal, White Rabbit came back to set the MTP, and I was good from there. So like I said before, guys, Firewall is the best boss monster in the deck. And then we have the one Detonator for the Meltron's target. One thing to remember, guys, and this play did come up for me, I had to like unfortunately lose a game because or lose a game as in like I couldn't use the effect that I wanted it, is when you use a Malice monster to come back, you cannot summon from the X deck for the rest of the turn except Link monsters. So if you Metaltronus your opponent after you've used these effects, you cannot summon the Detonator, meaning that a light pyro monster cannot hit the field, meaning that if they have like an ice or something, you can't play the game. So just remember that, guys. If you start off with like GWC banish your monsters, you cannot Metaltronus that, so that's one thing to keep track. But apart from that, guys, that's it for my 3v3 list, guys. If you guys want to see any more videos on Malice, specific combos, kind of secret shifter combos, things of that nature, guys, let me know down below. I'm not going to go ahead and do like some spreadsheet nonsense. I'm not a spreadsheet gamer. I just kind of play as it is. If you guys want to see pure Rizio lists as well, guys, let me know. I can get my teammates as well. Don't play Dotscaper. Mystery of the Gnomes is the MVP of the event. Firewall's a god card. Cut Griffin, you don't need to play it. That's it for my list, guys. My name's Hamza, like I was saying. Keep on shining. Never going to dreams. Peace.